How is everyone this morning?
Great.
How is everyone this morning?
Great.
I can't hear you. How many of you have realized that success requires some energy? Okay, so before I start today, let's take a deep breath. And before I ask you to take a deep breath, I want to tell you a little bit about why this is important. What people buy or don't buy is your feelings. And if you were in a place called fear and you're like, oh, this is so much fun, you too can struggle. You have no idea how much fun this is. But if you see, your body goes into fight or flight. But if you can actually allow yourself to relax and have fun, see, that is called pleasure. We operate from two perspectives, pleasure and pain. That which we perceive to be pleasurable, we do. That which we perceive to be painful, we resist. That's why most people have a non-profit organization that they run from the comfort of their home, correct? First of all, I want to thank my good friend, Mr. Mike Ray, his team of associates, Dan Brink, Pat Berry, and Steve Schwartz, who I've had the opportunity to know Pat, Steve, for a couple of years, and so it's really my privilege to be able to share with you this morning. But what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm only going to suggest, I learned as an entrepreneur myself of 17 years, never tell anyone what to do when they're in free enterprise, because if you do, then you're telling them how to have a job. And how many of you are renegades? How many of you are psychologically unemployable? How many of you are dysfunctional? The more dysfunctional you are, the better your odds at succeeding. Because if you're dysfunctional, you're obsessive and compulsive. And if you ever learn how to turn that energy into something you enjoy, you can do lots of it, correct? So let's take a deep breath from down in here. If you are tired, if you are sleepy, or if you ever have any kind of fear that comes on in your body where it goes into fight or flight, you constrict what is called the chi, or the flow. In this game called networking and direct sales, I personally don't believe it's a numbers game. I believe it's a people opportunity to connect and collaborate with people. And the game is allowing yourself to get comfortable enough with yourself that people can feel your energy. Now, I've been an entrepreneur myself for 17 years. So let's take one more deep breath. Just kind of check in with your body. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about me, and I'm going to borrow a term, my very good friend, Barry Donaldson. How many of you enjoyed Barry's presentation? Barry is an exceptional entrepreneur, and so are you. Say, I'm exceptional. I'm exceptional. Now, say it with a little energy. I'm exceptional. Okay, now say this. I'm dysfunctional. I'm dysfunctional. Now say this. I'm an entrepreneur. Good. We're going to put a little energy into my portion of this morning. And here are some recommendations I have for you. Put all your notes down. Don't take any notes. Do your best not to take any notes. First of all, if you're taking notes, then you were trying to capture what you thought I just said, and very likely you end up missing what you thought I just said. See, that becomes exhausting. And free enterprise is about being able to be in the moment, being able to bring your creativity to the market, turning some of your ideas into results, because if you can ever get your ideas into free enterprise, then you take ownership. And see, what most people do is they sit behind their telephone or sit behind their computer, and they never really embrace the rules of the game. They never understand the life skills required to become an entrepreneur, and then they have a non-profit organization. Now, here's why you're in business, right? Say this word, profit. I'm in business for profit. I'm in business for profit. I'm in free enterprise for profit.
I'm in free enterprise for profit.
And the most valuable commodity that we as an entrepreneur possess is time. And people who are exceptional at entrepreneurship understand the equation of a return on energy. And the more that you understand this equation, turning time into results, time into money, time into connections, time into collaborations. Now, if you want to change your enterprise in the next 5 months of this calendar year, because if you notice, the end of July is here, correct? And back on December 31st, many of us had New Year's resolutions, right? We said, this is the year, this is the breakthrough year, this is the year I'm going to break through. How many of you said that? Okay, and then you look up around July and you go, oh my God, I'm still procrastinating. How many of you are still doing that? You're doing far too much procrastination. Be as candid as you can. Because I specialize in mind-body connections, understanding the law of cause and effect. I'll be real candid with you. I'm so dysfunctional that I have multi-dysfunctions, multi-addictions, and I eventually learned how to turn those multi-addictions into multiple streams of income. That's why you're here, isn't it? We all have challenges. No matter how good you've been in corporate America, if you step into free enterprise, it is a new game, correct? Yeah. And it requires patience, and we don't really have that. Because we go, wow, I'm 40, 41, I'm behind the 8 ball, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Well, I got a hot flash for you. All you got to do is look at your feet. You're right where you're supposed to be. And I was not an overnight success in this industry. It took me 8 years to where I finally achieved a 7-figure income in 1 year. And you know, I wouldn't change one day of it. And I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you, you're all in the right place at the right time. And you're only 3 to 5 people away from your first 6 or 7-figure income. See, this is what you want to look at. You got 5 months left in the calendar year. It's not just doing the numbers. It's attracting people who have influence, affluence, networks, credibility. And if your self-esteem says, I'm not good enough, then you end up sending a telepathic mixed message that says, please sign up, but don't. I can't pull this off. Please enroll with me, but I have money issues. So in this portion of my presentation, I'm just here to have a little fun with you. And I'll tell you what, if it's not fun, you're going to end up resisting the process. How many of you do too much of this? Well, I specialize in this, right, Craig? I specialize in unresolved issues. I'm a recovering addict and alcoholic, and those are only a couple of my addictions. I'm one of those guys that has a laundry list of them. I've also been clean and sober for 17 years, and I got clean and sober right when I got into free enterprise. Thank you very much. And you know, this industry saved my life. And can I have that phone? I'll close that for you, baby. See, I told you I'm going to have fun. There's 3 kinds of people. There's order takers, there's salespeople, and there's closers. Say I'm a closer. I'm a closer. Say it with a little energy. I am a closer. Now use your hands. I am a closer. Now say I'm a people person. I am a people person. That's what was required. Now how many of you have ties on? Okay, do you mind, if those of you that have ties, or would you step into free enterprise for a moment and loosen your tie? Just say no ties. Notice I don't wear a tie. When I got fired so many times in it. Anyone else do this? I mean, I ended up psychologically unemployable. I got into this industry because this was kind of the last shot for me. I could not make it in corporate America. How many of you are ready to fire your boss about Monday? Serious, at some point, you know, most people have this utopian dream that when I get my business up to $5,000 a month, right, Ridgely? Right, Barry? When I get that utopian dream of $5,000 a month, I'm going to fire my boss. Well, you got to make your move before you're ready. How many of you are ready to fire your boss at some point this year? Right on, good, because you're going to have to at some point. There's no perfect moment to do that. You got to do what the rest of us did. You go over to the cliff, you look over, and you just take the tumble. You got to invent the parachute on the way down.
Hello, it's Pat Berry here. I want to thank you for listening to this excerpt of a live recording done in Salt Lake City, Utah, at the first ever Putting the Net in Network Marketing. Now, you might not be familiar with what Putting the Net in Network Marketing was, but it was actually started by myself and several other marketers, and we were the founders of the first training on how to build a business online using technology back in 2005. And Jeffrey Combs was speaking live at that event. Now, if you'd like to go ahead and listen to the full CD, we've got over 45 minutes recorded here. Just go to www.patberry.com, opt in for my 10 free CDs, and as a bonus, we'll include the Jeffrey Combs CD here in full. Now, if you want to find out more about how to build online and using technology, go to my website, patberry.com. As you know, technology has updated, and I'm using a brand new system now. I'd love to share it with you. It's called Carbon Copy Pro, and I'd love for you to take a look at what some of the top marketers, including Mike Dillard, Aaron Rashkin, Pat Berry, or Brian Finale, are now using. If you go to www.zoom, spelled with an X, so XOOM, FASTER, and I'll show you the latest training on how to build online, as well as giving you some additional training materials. Don't forget, go to patberry.com, www.patberry.com, to get your free CDs and to listen to the finishing part of this CD, as well as to have access from CDs including Dennis Waitley, Robert Allen, and several others that have recorded